Hello, good morning everybody. Thank you for taking the time to attend this live stream online training. This will be a dealer's sales training actually, so I won't be like trying to play too much guitar and stuff like that, but it's more of want to tell you a bit more key features about this GT-1000 Core effects unit lah. So I believe some of you have the GT-1000 Core on display and in stock at your shop already also, and we are just organizing this live stream to give you a little bit more knowledge on how to further sell this product lah. So as you know that in the market currently, there's a lot of different products that are coming out in a similar kind of fashion, and we have to equip ourselves with the right kind of like knowledge, so that whenever customers come around asking about the gear and stuff, we are not like stuck, you don't know what the product is all about and all. So the key concept is really important lah. So this will be a quick overview, and I hope that this will be beneficial for all of you. And please feel free to drop us any questions, everything, I'll try to answer them if I know. Otherwise, if I don't know, I can try to look it up for you. Maybe after the live stream, I can get in touch with you and let you know the details that you need. So, you guys sudah sarapan pagi ke? I mean, like, had your breakfast, everything all? I'm still kind of sleepy actually. It's kind of late. Yeah. So, let's start off with just playing a bit of music lah. I'm going to be using the GT-1000 Core, and yeah, with a half sort of like a demo track that I put together, which I have no idea what I'm going to call it. Maybe I'll call it for today, Where did I hear this song before? Here we go. So that was a simple demo track that I put together. I mean, a little bit of like backing guitars that I did recorded with the GT-1000 Core, and you know, I just like run through a few different kind of like patches, and as you can see, could we take a look at the camera above? So as you can see, the GT-1000 Core is actually the smaller brother of the GT-1000 flagship floor unit, and the size form factor is really small. It's basically the same casing like the 200 series, no, sorry, 500 series pedals, the DD500, RV500, and also the MD500. So they took away a few of the control buttons and stuff like that, and gave you like 3 foot switches here, and all fully assignable. And the main thing is that they wanted to offer this as like a really high quality amp modeler and effects unit for guitarists who use like their pedal board, you know, with other kind of like pedals along with it lah, you know. So I made a bit of a PowerPoint slide right here, and could we go to the slides? Okay, so this is very important. I just want you guys to have a you know, very good understanding on the key features. This is the most important lah, you know. Maybe you can pick 5 of the key features when you're talking about this product lah. As you can see, I think I'm going to talk about the competition, competitor product as well. So I mean, for you guys, I think you know lah, the GT-1000 Core came out because maybe to try to go into the market where the Line 6 HX Stomp is. And the HX Stomp, I think, has been a pretty successful product for Line 6, and now BOSS has come out with their, you know, in a way, a similar concept to that. But as some customers and all will know, and some maybe would not know, and maybe you guys might not know, the HX Stomp apparently promises the same flagship sound engine from the Helix series of effects processors. That's the claim lah. But apparently, when you reduce the cost and you cut down on a few things and all, apparently the sound quality also has been like you know, compromised from what I hear from people. You know, don't quote me on this, but I heard it from some of my dealers as well lah. And when looking into the details and all, there were some things that I found out, you know, through forums, everything, or there were some limitations. The original, I think, Helix were probably, you know, within the 5,000 plus range to like 7,000 something and all, whereas the HX Stomp, I think, currently is going for about 2,800 plus. I think I just checked quickly online just now, selling price. The thing is that, like I said, you know, when they cut on the cost, and then they you know, there's less processing power and all, and then it affects the you know, there's many limitations. But with the GT-1000 Core, it's basically using the exact same you know, engine under the hood as the GT-1000 flagship floorboard unit. So as you can see, the key features here in red, I want you to remember, this is the exact same engine as the GT-1000 flagship. Okay, so the next thing is, it can assign 24 simultaneous effects blocks, including 2 different amps and numerous series in series or parallel. So very important, 24 simultaneous effects block. Our competition, I think, has been reduced to like less than 10. You know, in, you know, I think it's 8 or something like that. I have to double check that one. So this is important. And then the third thing is, remember these numbers, 32-bit 96 kilohertz. So what is this all about? You know, technical mumbo jumbo. Basically, this is the specification that the GT-1000 uses for its analog to digital and digital to analog converters lah. Digital equipment, the digital analog converters, everything all are very, very important for the sound reproduction. You know, it's kind of like, think of this, you have your old TV set, right? You know, the one with the cathode ray tube or something, and then you compare it to nowadays the new you know, latest high definition television. So what's the difference you see is, of course, the HD TV, it's got a lot more finer pixels, I mean the finer quality, and you see a lot more detail in the, you know, the picture and all. Similarly for audio, I think now the current standard would be like 16-bit at least. That is like CD quality audio for products and all. Anything less than that, you'll be able to hear the sound become kind of like crunchy and, you know, like lo-fi already. I mean, which you can use in different kinds of like products. I mean, and genre if you are going for that sound. But for guitar players, you know, we are very concerned about how well you need your dynamic range, and also you need to reproduce the sound of your guitar the best it can lah. So a quick check, a few days ago, I think Line 6 has just launched the HX Stomp XL, basically the same thing as the HX Stomp, but they included, you know, expanded with more foot controllers. So, but the engine is the same, and they revealed that the processor is actually, I mean, the DAC is actually 24-bit 96 kilohertz. So the BOSS GT-1000 Core and GT-1000 is still above the standard lah, which is at 32-bit. So 32-bit 96 kilohertz sampling rate. So hope you understand that and keep that in mind when you want to like propose to, I mean, like talk about the product to the customer and stuff. The easiest thing is for a common man to understand is like when you compare it in terms of like a video, you know, you got like low resolution TV and then high resolution TV. So similarly that applies for audio as well. Why they want to have this high resolution sound is because if you want your sounds to be like really big and lush and you know, uncompressed, and also give you more dynamic range, this is why you need like high resolution like DACs and all that. Otherwise, you know, what do you mean by dynamic response is basically, so let me just show you a little bit. I've got this like premium drive patch going here. So dynamic response is like, you know, from playing soft to loud and back, everything and all, you know, the difference. You don't feel like it's really compressed unless you put a compressor, of course, like, you know. So like for instance, I play soft. Roll down the volume. It cleans up very nicely, and you know, when you have a large dynamic range, you can actually like perform very, I mean, you know, all your emotive nuances can come through very clearly. If imagine if it's like you don't have that much of a dynamic range, everything is going to sound like, you know, about the same level kind of thing. There's no loud or soft or anything. Everything's just like medium, the same. So that's why the 32-bit 96 kilohertz thing, it gives you a very, very touch responsive and wide dynamic range. So the next thing in the slide is the GT-1000 Core uses AIRD, or they call it AIRD or something, which stands for Augmented Impulse Response Dynamics technology, to deliver a very natural feel, combined with the high 32-bit resolution DACs and all. Like I said, gives you a very, very organic and dynamic piece of equipment. So what is all this AIRD thing? Is basically it's later on I have a slide that explains the whole thing in detail. It is a combination a bit of like using impulse responses and a bit, I think it's a bit of a physical modeling to sort of like emulate the feel of you playing through an amp. For instance now, as much as you can see these amps at the back, these are all sekadar hiasan, you know, for display only. I'm running the GT-1000 Core direct into you know, the video mixer, and it's going direct to you without going through any amplifiers. You know, what you're hearing is all the simulated amp tones from here and the cap simulations and stuff. So I'll talk a bit more on the AIRD thing so later on. And another point to point out when like sometimes customers like negotiating about the price like this thing is a bit expensive. Yeah, I mean I think it's about 3,000. The last I checked was about 3,499. I'm not sure it's gone up a little bit, but the price of the GT-1000 Core is a little bit higher compared to say the HX Stomp. Or the other cheaper units are from like China or Taiwan company and stuff like that. So which also claim to give you the similar kind of like features. So one other thing you can mention to the customer also is that GT-1000 Core includes a whole bunch of classic BOSS effects that are built. I mean like they sort of like simulated into the unit, along with some vintage storm boxes. The MDP effects, which is the multi-dimensional processing effects like the Terra echoes and the adaptive distortion and stuff like that, and also most importantly the one in red, as you can see, the algorithms directly ported from the DD500, MD500 and RV500. If you sell these pedals individually, each of them probably cost like nearly 2 grand each already, and it's nearly 6,000 ringgit worth of those 3 pedals all into this box, and you're paying this GT-1000 Core is basically only 3,000 plus. So like huge savings there lah. So the next thing, as you can see, you can read is like ultra fast patch switching. There's no lag in between when I'm changing patches and stuff like that, and also like for instance there's a what you call carryover delay, see, you can hear the delay that's trailing off when I change the patch. For instance, this is the delay sound, so it doesn't kill off the trail. So that's very important during performance, because you don't want your delay to suddenly get halfway through, when you go into the solo or something. On the back, there's also 2 sets of send return loops for external effects. You can use it for the 4-cable method with your amplifier setup as well. Very, very flexible. We'll take a look at the back of the unit later on. And also there's a looper on board for you to like jam along and work out some for practicing and stuff. It's not a full-fledged kind of looper, but just a simple one. If you're asking about impulse response, IR files, yes, the GT-1000 Core can load IRs as well. With the IR loader that you can download, you can load up to 16 slots of third-party IRs. But yes, this may be a very small number compared to like the other competition like Line 6 and all. But the truth of the matter is this. At the end of the day, are you really going to be using the IRs or not? The third-party IRs is a thing lah. The thing I was going to talk about, the AIRD that BOSS employs here, is it makes the factory IRs inside more flexible than using third-party ones, because you can actually like tweak the sound further. Like you want to change the kind of like mic model that's miking the mic simulation and the the distance and things like that. You can really hone in on the sound to a very high detail lah. Whereas if you're using third-party IRs, it's fixed. Like meaning like let's say they captured like a Celestion Greenback or something speaker with an SM57 mic, like 2 cm away from the cone or something. So you're fixed. You can't adjust anything with that. That's the only drawback of using third-party IRs. Whereas on board, you've got a lot of great, the ARD sounds are really fantastic on its own. But they still give you 16 slots, so you can still play around with that if you want to. As you can see now, GT-1000 Core has like few buttons. There's a up and down switch here, and also the control one. There's only one control. So could you get this one? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So here I show you it's been expanded with two additional pedals. This is control one here. Like the first patch I'm using. Basically, this is my rhythm tone. So I'll just show you like. Control 1 switches on a distortion booster pedal. FS7 connected to one of the control jacks here, I can assign the first button to switch on the delay. And then button B here is assigned to switch on a wah-wah, which I can like turn this EV5 expression volume pedal into a wah-wah now. Press this again, this turns it back into the volume pedal. So all that comes in very handy, and you know, the main thing is that you, like I said, you can expand the unit. It's not you're fixed with these control pedals and stuff lah. So important to know, and also that you can also use this like an audio interface to record direct to your DAW. It's got a micro USB output connection on the side where you can connect it to your computer, and you can do all the reamping thing and all of that. You want to, you know, like record the affected signal and also at the same time the dry signal, so later on you can actually, if you don't like that sound, you can swap. You have the original signal that is dry that you can actually swap with other effects. Very versatile. And also MIDI connection on the side using the TRS mini jack kind of MIDI cable. You can actually connect it to like other MIDI devices for like syncing, and I suppose you could even do additional foot controllers via MIDI. So there's a control out function also for you to toggle the channel switching on your physical amplifier if you have. And yeah, also not only for guitarists, there's a dedicated mode for bass guitar applications. So you got like some bass preamps and effects and everything all built into this. So please remember, not only for guitar players, GT-1000 and GT-1000 Core are usable for bass players as well. Okay. So the next slide, we're looking at the back and side view. So as you can see, the back view, there's a whole bunch of you know, connectors. So basically, there's stereo inputs for use with stereo effects going in and out of the unit. So this is different from the flagship model. The flagship unit has only a single guitar jack input. The GT-1000 Core has the stereo left and right channel inputs here. So you can actually use it like, you know, let's say you want to run your vintage, you know, like, or I mean like a boutique, you know, chorus, stereo chorus effect into the unit, something in the full stereo. You can even connect like, you know, a synthesizer into this in stereo, and then like use the effects on board to you know, like change up the sound a bit and stuff. And then there's also two send and return jacks that can be used individually or together in stereo. Also can function as a sub output. So the difference is the GT-1000 Core had like XLR outputs and also quarter-inch outputs, the main and sub outputs. Here, because it's a smaller form factor, they just give you TRS connections. So there's a left and right main output, and then there's the send and return can be reassigned as a secondary output, sub output. Why you need sub outputs? You know, because sometimes when you're performing in places where you want, you can split the signal. On stage you can have like an amp, so you can output from the main output or something to the amp and turn off the amp sims or something for your monitoring only. But then sub output can go stereo into the mixer for like the front of house PA system. This works well for like maybe like churches and stuff like that, or certain concerts if you like. You know, you prefer to have the DI sound going through the PA lah. Okay, that's quite a lot. Now we come to the next part. I think those of you who are guitar fanatics will already be very familiar with this term called IR, impulse response. Those who don't know, I mean, this is a very simplified sort of like explanation of it. What are IR files? Impulse responses are small wave files that contain the essence of characteristics of a speaker cap. They are produced with impulse or frequency sweep through a speaker signal and is mic'd up and sent back into a computer to be decoded as an IR file. So it's basically just a very short sort of like a wave file, and the type of mic preamp, mic positioning affects the quality of the IR. Currently, it's the most accurate sounding cab simulation available. Best choice is for direct recording or going DI into the PA system. So yeah, so you get I hope you get to understand the basic of this, what this IR is. So coming to AIRD, Augmented Impulse Response Dynamics. This is derived from BOSS's acclaimed tube logic technology, as you can find in the Katana and also the Blues Cube. Mainly the big difference is that it makes you feel like you're playing through an amp, and it's got all the push-pull, the whole reaction with the speaker load and your power amp section, everything all going. Guitar players are very can feel all these kind of things are strange in a way, but yeah, they're so particular about things like this. And yeah, even the next tone also has the the tube logic thing. So basically the GT-1000 Core, because mainly if you're going to be performing going direct without an amp, you still want to have that reactive kind of feel, the feel like a bit of compression or the tube sag and everything can be dialed in on this unit lah. So you don't need to fret that you need to lug around your vintage amp or tube amps are heavy to be honest. So basically it provides another dimension of playing experience, the feel of an amp. That's the main difference lah, as compared to playing with other effects unit which might sound pretty sterile. So this meticulously recreating the response of guitar signal going through the input section of an amp through the preamp and power amp to speaker cab. So this provides a host of AIRD output also presets. This means that with the new software updates and all, they'll give you like different sort of can I use the word profiles or something of like different, like the most famous amplifiers available in the market, and like of course all the Boss and Roland ones are, which you can connect to the amp, and you switch to that setting, it will sort of like optimize the tonal output to fit the character of the speaker of the amp you're connecting to lah. So this is part of the AIRD thing also. Let me see. Okay, so then next thing is what's the main difference between third-party IR file and the ones with the AIRD? As I mentioned before, it's the AIRD has more flexibility in terms of simulating different mic positioning or mic type. So you got more things you can adjust with lah. Okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop a message and stuff lah. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is the target market, finding the correct customers. This kind of gear, which is set you back like a few thousand ringgit kind of thing, is maybe not for everybody. Those who are going to be looking for cheap stuff, they will always look for cheap stuff lah. Those who are looking for premium stuff, there's always a market for those kind of guys lah. So the first one I can think of is basically church guitarists. Why church guitarists? Of course, most of them are using things like the Helix and stuff like that. If you can try to penetrate the market, there's a huge market to be made lah. So why church guitarists? Because many big churches are going ampless on stage. Lately, going more with in-ear monitoring like instead. They want to keep the volume levels on the stage as low as possible. Maybe only the drums only is like acoustic. Because when you have more things on stage, there's louder and louder. Things get louder and louder, and eventually start to become a rock concert lah. Then yeah. So when they want to go direct, good quality guitar sounds, everything are very crucial. So you need a very high quality guitar amp modeler, such as the GT-1000 Core. Yeah. So there's also like kind of like sounds like shimmery kind of effects built in also, like so dreamy kind of effects and all that, which gives you a lot of like ambient kind of sounds, great for like worship kind of music. And also the second point is, like I mentioned on the slide here, is great for live stream performances where good line out tone is crucial. Now live stream has become like a standard already. I think now people are slowly opening up. I think I heard the news yesterday that you can do performances but with strict SOPs and stuff. So live stream is still one of the main avenues for performances also. So using a unit like this, you don't need to have the hassle of like having the mic up and an amplifier, and yeah, you get stereo guitar sounds, which is really nice to hear as compared to like just the normal like single amp kind of setup kind of thing when you have like chorus effects and stuff, especially this ambient-y kind of stuff The third is pedalboard users who would want a high-end modeler to be used with their storm boxes. Yeah, these guys have really invested thousands in like their boutique pedals and stuff, and maybe they might have the $500,000 overdrive pedal on their pedal board. So of course they want to use that that overdrive so can use the GT-1000 Core as just like the amp section only to replace a physical amp, and or you can loop it together and mix and match effects and stuff like that. The other kind of guitarist will be the recording musician. Easy for recording and great tones right out of the box. USB connection direct to your DAW. No need to mic up anything, just go straight. Also, for bass players, please remember, also you can market this to bass players. So it's got all the goodness for the guitarists, like similarly for bass players also. New version 3 update from the GT-1000 flagship gives you 3 ARD bass preamps, 8 overdrives and distortions, the MDP bass compressors, plus choruses, flanger, and basically more than what any bassist would need basically. So also, if you want to find a new kind of market, maybe those guys who are into experimental synthesizer kind of stuff, you can market this to synth players as well. Yeah. So here, previously with the GT-1000, we actually engaged a few local influencers to help us with our marketing and stuff like that. And one of these guys is basically Abang Cham Kamikaze. Those who are in the Malay scene market, and also he's a very famous session player for artists, and also does a lot of work for the China artists and stuff he's fully using GT-1000 only, so it's basically really a testament to how good quality the sounds are for a guitarist such at his level to be able to use our product The other guy is rock legend Hilary Ang, one of the founding members of Search. He is also using the GT-1000 as well. Of course, he also he has two setup. One, if he wants to go for multi effects, he'll be using the GT-1000. The other one is his pedal board kind of thing and stuff like that So maybe I think that's getting a little bit dry and stuff. How long have we been? Oh, it's about 35 minutes. Okay, maybe I'll just play you. I just demonstrate a little bit of the sounds of the unit. So just now you already heard the premium drive sound and all, pretty organic kind of overdrive tone, which I used in the song just now and stuff. So here the shimmer also you've heard already, and there's this patch called the power of MDP. MDP technology, the multi-dimensional processing, which is employed in the Terra Echo and all. You can hear the Terra Echo sound also. So touch responsive, and it's got you hit it harder, you hit it softer, it's a different effect. So different sounds are very dynamic. There's also this patch which I really like for recording called double amp. I can turn on the boost, play kind of metal thing. If you are on headphones, everything, you can hear the sounds like a double track kind of guitar. Yeah. So then this is a program that a program sort of that I kind of edited, and it's based on a Fendery deluxe reverb kind of sound, but added ambient effect. I mean, ambient reverb. So it's kind of smoother, you know, like very smooth, jazzy in fact. So, and Control 1 assigns, if not mistaken, an OD1 overdrive pedal in there. Very smooth kind of sound. Then the next is a Dirty Deluxe. This is slightly the deluxe amp with a bit of breakup on the tubes, so you get a bit dirty kind of tone, a bit more, you know, bite to the sound. Try with the sing calls. Control 1 engages the $500,000 overdrive pedal, the emulation of the Klon Centaur. So very flexible, very smooth. Now, of course, if you wanted to, you want to get that very pristine, clean, 80s clean kind of sound, which you hear a lot on like 80s production. And I think the 80s is coming back anyway. So you've got a transparent kind of a tone here. And because this is using a transparent preamp in here, it's basically like kind of like connecting direct to, like, you know, a console or PA system kind of thing. And if you've got like piezos engaged, you can even like get acousticy kind of sounds. This is only possible if you are like going direct into the PA or something with a transparent kind of thing. If you're going through a guitar amp, you know, the piezos is going to suck lah, you know. So one of the benefits of going, you know, like ditching the amp and going direct is you get, if you have a hybrid kind of setup with the guitar with piezos, you can do that lah. And of course, you're switching back to magnetic. Control 1 assigns like an overdrive to it. Very, I mean, you can get your kind of like 80s LA session guitar player kind of like tones, like Steve Lukather or Michael Landau kind of thing. It's all in here. And, you know, a bit of like a rotary effect as well. Great for like Beatles kind of songs and stuff like that. And there's a lot like even country twang if you want like a bit of you know, slapback echo. Well, I don't really know how to play country, but you know, you get the idea lah. So any questions so far? No? All good. All right. Okay. So the next thing, can you go back to the slides, please? Yeah. Accessories. This is very important for you sales guys. You know, when you sell this product, don't just sell the GT-1000 Core on its own. You know, you guys maybe if you're on commission based and stuff, you know, you might want to be selling more stuff. You know, don't forget the accessories. Always like ask the customer like, okay, he's going to pay for the GT-1000 Core already. do ask the customer if they would need like all these foot switches and stuff, you know, because it's pretty crucial lah, you know, for it to be expanded, to be used. The EV5 is a very affordable option for like expression volume kind of like things you can assign. There's also like the double foot switch with the FS7 or the FS6. The difference between FS7 and FS6 is FS7 is like smaller, you know, elongated kind of like way like this. FS6 is like side by side, but FS6 can run on battery. FS7 needs a power unit, power adapter lah, or if you daisy chain it from your you know, your pedal board's main power supply, that'll work. Some people might need a heavier duty kind of like a expression volume pedal, the EV30, or if they want to have like a stereo volume pedal at the end of the chain or something, also you can use, you know, the FV500 series pedals that are kind of built like a tank. And as well as yeah, if you want to further expand it with MIDI and all, we also sell the B MIDI 535 special MIDI cable, which is the TRS to MIDI cable, which I think the GT-1000Core, the MD500, the 500 series pedals, is it 500 series? I can't remember also. 200 series also, like OD200 also, I think they're using this connector lah for MIDI. So all these are available from us. So remember to propose this to the customer before they, you know, they pay for the main unit, the GT-1000Core lah. Similar concept like McDonald's. You're going to buy a burger or something, why you buy a la carte meal? You just top it up and get all these things because you want a full meal. You got to be, you know, instead of getting this alone, just top up a bit, get a full meal, you know. Yeah, I must be hungry. So there's a photo of how you can incorporate the GT-1000Core into your pedal board, and yeah, I think that's about it lah. So any questions, anybody? Oh yes, very important feature. There's also a built-in tuner. Very, very important. You see, the G string is really out of tune. Yeah. So I always highlight the tuner in all the multi effects because sometimes people don't really think about about it, especially if you set up your whole pedal board and everything and all, right? A lot of times, like, people think, I don't really want to spend like few $100 on a tuner pedal or something. It's taking up space and stuff on your pedal board. So they're going to get those cheapo clip-on tuners and all. Yeah, they will work fine at home and stuff, but sometimes at a gig or something, you know, like when there's a lot of like there's drummers sound checking in the back and all, and like, you know, vibrations everywhere, and suddenly you start to realize your cheapo tuner isn't really tuning much at all. So the most stable way of tuning is always through line input kind of thing, either like DU3, DU3W, or you know, in this case, there's a built-in tuner on the GT-1000Core as well. So thank you very much for your time, and please send us your questions if you have any, and I guess we'll see you next time. Stay safe. Last song. Yeah. You guys want to hear a song? I don't know, man. I hope the tremolo stays in tune. New strings need to be stretched. That's a problem. So I'm going to play you out and have fun and have a good lunch after this. Okay. Mana dah? Thank you very much. See you next time. Stay safe.